Hello and welcome everybody, hope that you're good and we're back for a bit more of the winter holidays chase. First up is a remote thanks to Alex Nexton, which depressingly is only the second Dedenne remote of the entire day. Maybe it could be shiny, but it isn't. We have had big struggles actually finding Dedenne raids, and I'm sure a lot of you were exactly the same because on our Discord, it's just like people going, where are the raids? And seriously, where are the raids? It's 11:30 on a Thursday. There's like one day left of this event because it overlaps with the community weekend, unfortunately. And you can see there's a Psyduck raid that's hatched, which is nice, but 2 raids. And it's been like that all morning, which is a crying shame, to be honest. Sandygast quests are also on the agenda today, and also a little look at some of the pretty nice shiny luck we've had over the last day and a half. Obviously, as soon as we hit export, upload, last video, suddenly the shiny luck came through, so we're going to take a look through that. And actually 22 hours late, I might add, the paid ticket came through for this event. When 10 AM swung in California time, it went live. So thank you very much to Marissa, who actually gifted us the ticket as soon as it went live. So thank you very much, Marissa Pokemon. Appreciate that ticket. But I think let's go and raid a Psyduck. And as soon as we start moaning about the Dedenne raids, thanks to Gabriella for the 1301. 1315 would be the boosted hundo for Dedenne, because we're running daily incense right now. We haven't done too much raw time because honestly I found that the regular incense seems to be better at bringing in the event spawns. But not shiny, which is a real shame, but thank you so much for the invite. But while we catch that, let's show off the first shiny, which of course we got, I think literally 2 hours after finishing the video. Our first shiny of the Winter Holidays event, part 1, was Numel. Now, fantastically wintry Pokemon. Of course it's the fire type, but actually really solid to have picked that one up. It's been a long time. It wasn't a quality shiny, but really nice to finally get a shiny with the backdrop. So that ticked off shiny 1. This Dedenne's 93%, not too shabby at all. We're still blindly going on the 7-kilometer raid grind. We've got 7 7s here, so let's see if anything shiny is going to come out of them. And inadvertently, it set me quite nicely up for the next shiny that we got shortly after. Well, 3 Cubchoo, Jesus. There's a Charcadet. Still no hatched hundo. There's a Charcadet. Actually, a hundo Charcadet would be quite nice. Pichu. This is the final egg. There's the dinosaur. There you go. So, nothing I think of any consequence, but we did hatch the shiny Sphere, and I didn't even see it hatch because the phone was in my pocket. So, that was the second shiny. Daily Incense, Litleo. Not seen that one. Need the male shiny. Come on. Not a shiny Zapdos. Not a shiny Zapdos, but it's a Galarian bird on the backdrop. I panicked since we lost the Galarian Articuno however many days ago. Again, this might play out quite nicely, so we're going to Golden Raz and Ultra Ball it, because I'm fairly confident it's not going to be a hundo. Completely botched the throw. 1 roll, and out, and probably gone. Yeah, there you go, it's gone. However, it's weird how things work out sometimes. So, on Tuesday, we're going around doing some errands and running daily incense while being a passenger princess in the car. We got a Galarian Zapdos, but since it was the first one with a backdrop and it was the first Galarian bird we'd seen in a while, it was 1995, which is my birth year. And I thought, why the hell not? Let's Master Ball the damn thing. So we actually did Master Ball a Zapdos, which turned out to be pretty horrendous IV, but because it was 1995, I thought it would probably be worth it. So there you go, we have a G-Bird. Actually 2 G-Birds in one clip. 3 Sandygast quests. This doesn't lead to a future clip because no joy on Sandygast still. Just checking those quests, seeing if anything pops up. And the final one, no. Well, Daily Incense has brought in 29 catchable Pokemon. Of course, the Galarian Zapdos decided to bugger off, but no problem. I think it's time to plonk a regular incense down, and it's time for you peeps, if you haven't heard, to go and drop the Incense podcast to download. Episode 201 is currently available, but episode 202, our Christmas special, is going live this Sunday for the community weekend, and it's in video format once again, so enjoy our festive offering. And I tell you, I think it's a quality one, so enjoy it. Oh, by the way, Walpole is now a Vanillite nest, which couldn't really have worked out any better because it's a quality shiny, and we have some quests. Not shiny. I need to catch 1 more ground type though. Vanillite, not shiny. Quest, not a Sandygast shiny. And then this one is not shiny. Well, that little podcast plug has actually worked out very nicely. That is a shiny Alolan Diglett, which is only catching for the ground type quests. Don't think it's a perma boosted one off the top of my head, because it was released as a thing in 2019 for the wild, and it does play nicely into another clip. Last night we dropped some rainy lures because the rainy lures can bring in Psyduck with the costume on them, so you don't have to raid it potentially. And we lured in an Alolan Diglett not too long ago, so we actually have 2 of these from this event already. Time for another crack at the old 7-kilometer race. Got 9 of them here, and a Charcadet. Come on, some more shiny luck would be something, or some hundo luck. There's a Pichu. Never had that shiny actually, as things turn out. Had plenty of Amora. Come on! Cubchoo. Shame Cubchoo can't spawn in the wild with this costume, but Spheal, Psyduck, Dedenne, etc. can do, off of incense and lures. And Cubchoo. Cubchoo and Eevee and Pikachu seem to be obsolete from the old costume in the wild scenario, but that was a load of rubbish, I think, unfortunately. Dead. 93 Spheal doesn't quite cut it, so sandygast in the wild, not shiny. We actually found a Dedenne raid in the distance, and we've walked very briskly to get here. 10:23, not fantastic, but a lobby of 11 annihilated this thing. Thanks to the Patreon squad peeps who jumped in there. Got a rare XL. Were we on the board? No, Pavnoka with the very jazzy Stantler outfit there. Final strike. No shiny. I honestly, if you got this shiny from this event, you are incredibly lucky. Obviously, raid locks, it's very rare to come off of incense, daily incense as a spawn, but it broke out. We've got the extra problem of the fact that part 1 and part 2 of the holiday event sort of overlap with the community weekend event, but the community weekend event is obviously going to take priority because that's how the kind of order of service works with Niantic. Community day overlaps and takes priority over anything else. So I really hope you can still get Dedenne in the raids, but the community window is 9 AM to 9 PM, so the likelihood of actually getting a Dedenne is very challenging, and I don't like that, because it means that the event is technically shorter, which means you're restricted on remotes, encounters, etc. We know how things work with Niantic. It's probably going to be a wild spawn and field research task thing for next winter holidays. Thanks very much to Nakeem for the Dedenne raid invite. So we've actually got 1 more remote left after this one, but stopped off for a little hot beverage, and well, while we wait for this lobby to fill up, let's say we're ready, let's talk a little bit about some of the other shiny luck. So unfortunately we weren't able to live stream this week due to various logistics, but we were able to play a few bits of Spotlight Hour from home during some lure sessions, and Spotlight Hour did deliver the shiny Bergmite, which I thought was rather good. So that's 1 shiny Bergmite, and actually on the way to something we were doing in Central last night, we picked up a second. So 2 Bergmite in 2 days is by far more than I needed. It's lovely. Neither of them particularly good, but into the Dedenne we go. This is the 1 shiny that really we want, because of course people, Sandygast will stay around as a regular spawn. This thing is only available for another couple of days, and then it will be a whole year probably before it even returns. It may even not return. I really hope it does. But 10:17, I think it's 10:51 for the regular hundo you would like. Please, Nakeem, deliver me the shiny. That would be amazing if you could, but unfortunately no. Dedenne, as I said in my first video, has some of the worst RNG in terms of shiny luck for me personally. But there you go, that is that. Anyway, let's jump into the first page of the special research. So we just claimed the Holiday Part 1 stuff with the max particles, and we got a Sandygast as a reward. This is obviously not shiny or good, and that means we can wave goodbye to Sierra. This was done on Wednesday morning, so it took a little time, but here, scrolling up though, we have got plenty of encounters of different Pokemon. So, raid passes and stuff. First up is a Vanillite, which wasn't shiny, but the fact we have the nest in Wildpine now is rather good. The next encounter, Snorunt. Number 3 is the Cubchoo, which honestly, it's only egg-logged. Real shame. Check 4 was the Bergmite we got plenty of shinies of before and after. Check 5 gave us Jinx, which being an ice type, still isn't featured anywhere. Next check was Sneasel. Perma boosted shiny, so hopefully some of you got that, but this thing pops off daily incense every other day. The penultimate check of page 1 was a Lapras, which didn't have any kind of costume or anything like that. Wasn't shiny, it'd be cool if we got a Gigantamax Lapras from the research, but being 1100 on the dot is not very good. And to claim at page 1, we get ourselves a lovely incubator with the half hatch distance and the raid pass, plus a Cryogonal that turned out to be a tiny one. Shame it wasn't a shiny one. That, of course, actually had a 6-hour research day, I think, this time last year. Let me know how you did from special ticketed research if you got it at all. We've now got 3 sandygast quests that we can jump into, so check 1. Still not shiny. I'm honestly not very hopeful of this thing. Not perma boosted at all. Check 2, not shiny. If somebody managed to get this, big congrats. I've seen a few people getting this online, so well done to all of you. Still not shiny in check number 3, and 498. Right, doing some more quests. There's a few down the other way, but triple sandygast, and all we're doing is stacking them for future tasks. Not shiny. Probably not shiny for the 3rd. And after a bit more hunting and very little success in the way of the quest grind, we're going to conclude the part 1 of the holidays event here, because on Sunday it's going to switch over to part 2 with costume shiny Wooloo in the wild, as well as on incense on alternating days, and shiny to toddle annoyingly raid locks, apart from being on incense spawns for limited days as well. You can check the article just to make sure you know which day is going to be spawning which Pokemon. But I thought we'd jump in quickly with some of the news that hit recently about January events that are kicking off 2025. And first up, Sprigatito was confirmed to be January the 5th's Community Day Pokemon, which is sick. We're getting the Gen 9 starters in 2025 as their shinies. It's obviously a 2 to 5 p.m. local time event. We get Frenzy Plant and Flower Trick on Meowscarada. Really nice to have that shiny come into the game. You also get some special backgrounds, but it costs you a little bit more money in the way of the ticket for Community Days, which I'm not sure how I feel about the tickets. I hope we get more for the $2, as it were. It's a triple catch dust com day, which is sick. So honestly, I think Ian, Mark and I might look to go and play somewhere together. The other bit of news which I've been waiting on, this is one of my favorite Generation 9 Pokemon, Fido, is coming right at the very beginning of January 2025 with the Fido Fetch event. It's quite a short event, only what, 4 or 5 days or so, but it drops this and it's all focused around a dog Pokemon, and it's all to do with global challenges as well. There's many tiers which eventually unlock Greavon, Hisuian, Growlithe, and Fido comes in level 2. I have quite an interesting idea for Fido's release, which may result in me going around some of the interesting bakeries in London. Let's have a look and see if that comes to fruition. But I thought to round out, since we haven't had any joy with the new shinies this year, we could evolve the ones that we got last year. Actually, we got Vanillite pretty much on its debut with the Spotlight Hour. Let's evolve that family. I'll quickly let you know my thoughts and feelings on part 1 of the event. I thought it's been pretty good. The quest grind has been really, really nice actually to go for, and I've seen plenty of sandygast in the wild. Obviously, the backdrop and everything, the scenery has been astounding. I think that's quality. And actually, the spawns have been quite fun to play with as well. The one huge, and I mean cataclysmic, irritation with this event that I've had is obviously the shiny Dedenne, because not only has it been raid locked, but it has been incredibly difficult to find. That shiny, I think it gets worse actually as it evolves, to be honest. I preferred shiny Vanillite, but there is VaniLux or whatever it's called. I think costume Dedenne, if it was going to be raid locked, they should have been spawning a lot more often. I have noticed a serious lack of level 1s. It's been mostly level 3s, or more specifically, Mega Latios has been plaguing the raids. Plenty of times I've woken up in the morning and seen no raids on the nearby, which I think is almost criminal, to be honest, to lock something in raids and then not provide it. But we know Niantic and their roadmap and their annoying ways, unfortunately. But of course, you can let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comments below and how you did for this event. Have you got any of the new ones, or have you been on the grind for some of the other shinies available through quests or the wild spawns? Hopefully you've had a good time with it. But if you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below and join me and stick with me for the Pokemon Go content. And actually, we wouldn't be here were it not for the awesome Patreon peeps who are credited at the end of every single video here on the channel. The peeps on the rolling credits really do help keep this whole sort of thing going, and I'm really thankful for all of you who are on there so very much for supporting me and the channel behind the scenes and on Patreon. So thank you so very much to each and every one of you. And this weekend is the big December Community Day wrap-up, which you can let me know what you think of it. Personally, I think we're just going to play for a bit of shiny bingo and drop one video for the whole weekend, because as things have been, I think 2024's Community Days have been pretty flat. There's been not very many good ones, apart from perhaps Goomy for being a good shiny and the Alolan starters. The Com Day Classics have been better this year than the regular Community Days, so I think we're going to try and see if we can find ourselves some nice Hundo, Beldum and Bagon checks. That would be quite good fun. Or the Alolan starters, but we'll be back on Sunday with that video for damn sure. If you enjoyed this video, check out one of the two on the screen there. There's plenty more for you to continue enjoying here on the channel. There's so much content from the past years, and where events have perhaps been more fruitful in new shinies or community weekend wrap-ups have have been more sparkly and actually more exciting. So there's some good bits and pieces dotted around, but I will say until the next time, do take care.